Hello, I hope everyone can hear me. I don't know if I didn't check my mic. Hopefully it's working. I'm checking it on something else. Let's see. Here we go. Is it working? Yes, it's working. Yeah, I think. Y'all let me know in the comments if it's working. Hello, welcome to another... Why is this so dark? Oh, I forgot to turn my light on. Hold on. Hold on. Turn my light on over here. There we go. I had to change the camera so that y'all don't get a view of my shirt. So anyway, hope everyone out there is doing good. I did not adjust this camera at all. All right, cool. All right. Well, today is a simple day. I was thinking yesterday, usually my live streams include things that I have due this next week or coming up, and I need to bend them and do them anyway, so might as well live stream it and maybe it'll help someone out there. If you don't know me, my name is Cade. This channel is Retainer Designer, but my wife and I, we own a small orthodontic lab out in the country in a little building at the end of our driveway, and that's how we make our living, is we make retainers for a living. So that's what we do for a living, but I like to do this channel on the side. I like to connect with people out there, help out those that might need some help. Maybe you don't have the resources. This was a promise I made myself whenever I first started in the ortho lab as an in-house lab technician, because I didn't have anything out there. It was before, I was going to say it was before the internet. No, we had the internet. I'm not that old. It was before YouTube existed. But then when YouTube came around, I was like, you know what? Let me make a retainer and post it on YouTube, and then it got some traction. And so here we are, like 10 years later. I think my channel's 10 years old, so you can find some really old videos on here. But I think my most famous one is just one I shot making an Adams clasp. Who knew that would be so popular? So that's what we're doing today, is something that is due Monday. No, Monday is Labor Day, so everyone in the U.S., happy Labor Day tomorrow. And again, here we are on a Sunday, where we usually do a Friday. So I think I might switch to Sunday. Let me know in the comments. Some of you may be able to catch this live, some of you may not. Usually it helps to go live. But as you saw in the picture, we are making something on this. Now this model is not my usual model. Let's see if I can find one. Here's one. This gray resin is from my Form 3 printer. Formlabs Form 3 printer. 3B plus, if you want to be specific. But I had a doctor that I used to print for, and he actually bought his own printer and is doing his own printing, which is fine with me. I don't have to print. It can skip the print queue and go straight to my desk, and I can start working on it. And he makes some really good models, but it's this yellow stuff, and I don't know what I think about it. I like a real dark model. It helps with the eyes. Many of you out there may realize, you know, when this stuff, when 3D printing first came out, it was like almost translucent, kind of like you can see. Can you see the roof of the mouth there? How translucent that is? Can I show this? So it was real translucent. It was really, amazingly enough, really hard on the eyes. Like, it's like our eyes couldn't focus on it, but they've done a good job. This is really opaque. Looks like cheese. So we're gonna make what is called an Interim Hawley, and actually have that one over here behind me. And I've already bent one. This is the picture from the thumbnail. And so an Interim Hawley, I don't know if you call it that or if you call it a phase 1. They're made for a specific reason, and so some things are some ortho treatments are done in 2 phases. So there's an initial phase. You're like 7 years old. Your molars just now came into existence. Your first year molars. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit and turn down the brightness. That is a little too bright. Here we go. This is shiny. You got your permanent molars in, but you may still have some baby teeth. See, there's a baby tooth there, and you got some teeth still. So these and it looks like these might be baby teeth, the 3s, or the what we would call the C's. So you notice all these models that phase 1, they're really similar. They either don't have their canines, they still have their baby canines, or something, but they all have their 6-year molars. They all have perfect front teeth because they wore brackets 2 to 2, or lateral to lateral. They wore 4 brackets up here and maybe some bands on the molars. And in fact, my daughter is in this phase right now, phase 1, and so she's got 4 brackets on the front just to kind of help control those front teeth from shifting and going all over the place. And they reach a point where the teeth are straight. Look, they look beautiful. They've done a good job. Now, we did these used to have brackets on them. We shaved them off. We ground them off, so you can see they're a little rough on the front. So that actually these kids still have brackets on physically right now as we're talking. And then once they get their brackets off, they'll slap these retainers in. And what these retainers are going to do are they're going to retain the front teeth. That's where the 2 to 2 labial bow comes in handy, because it's going to keep these teeth from spreading out. And it'll keep all this open on the sides. There's some doctors that actually want me to remove all the acrylic from touching all the baby teeth. So baby tooth, baby tooth, baby tooth, baby tooth, lost the baby tooth, has a, oh, look at these models are shiny. Let me see if I can turn this off. Still shiny. There's a bicuspid coming in. There's a baby tooth right there. So that's the purpose of the phase 1 or interim. So interim means, hey, we're going to hold them in the interim until all the rest of the teeth come in, and then we're going to put the rest of the brackets on. So that's pretty much what a phase 1 is. And as an ortho lab, you'll make a lot of these. There's another one called a pediatric, and maybe I'll bend one of those labial bows. The loops are reversed. I do a lot of those too. We call them pedo Hawleys, but I got to be careful. It's pediatric Hawleys, and the labial bow is actually 2 to 2, but the bows are reversed, or ricket. It's a ricket labial bow, I guess you could say. But let me grab one of these and make sure I put them all back in the right box. I don't want to do the wrong ones. Let's see. Okay, this one goes in here. Luminary purple, baby blue. Let's do a baby blue on here. I think that'll be a good one. All right, so I'm going to get my model holder. And this is basically your, oh, Perry. Perry, I like Sunday. I get a chance to relax and watch your video too. Oh, good. That's, you know, I kind of thought of that same thing. Was, hey, maybe people they're not working. Because my first thought was, hey, while you're on your lunch break on Friday, hang out with me. And you can watch your videos with me. Somebody just walked in. Who's that? Beckett! Are you coming into work? I'm live streaming right now.
Oh.
It's okay.
I mean, do you need help?
Well, I think I got it. If you want, you could open up the laptop and keep an eye out.
Your streams usually like last 1 hour, right?
Yeah. Is that too long for you?
No, it's too short.
Too short? Oh, because you wanted to go 2 hours a day.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll find you some work.
Okay.
Okay. Afterwards. Steal a Dr. Pepper out of the lab fridge? I see you.
There's a lot left, okay?
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. All right. So I'm using an 030 labial bow. And, oh man, the lighting on here is having a very hard time. See what I'm talking about? The lighting on the model, it kind of hurts the eyes sometimes if it's the wrong color or too shiny. Actually, I don't know if I prepped this or not. It looks like I did. Yeah, I did. Let me put one more coat of separator on here, and I'll get to your, I see some comments coming in. So I got I've got my separator brush here. So you can see I'm all stacked up ready for this next week. Honestly, it's probably what I should have been doing last Friday. So I'm gonna put this on my little red fan here, and that's not it. All right, so while it's drying, good in GG, OT, thanks. Okay, I don't know what GG, what's GG? I like it when you do Sunday videos. Oh, good, hey, maybe we'll keep going. Cause I get home from church and I'm bringing all my cameras home anyway, from church, because this camera I use at church and some other things. I take some of my equipment and help live stream at church on Sundays. And then I bring it home, I can just set it up and start live streaming. So we'll start doing that. Greetings from Tennessee, Mr. Martinez. Thanks for SP. Oh, you're welcome. I'm not sure what SP is, but you're welcome, whatever that is. All right. So my son, that was my son Beckett. He's 13 now. He is wanting to save up for a new graphics card for his computer. So he's been asking to do some work. He does some 3D printing for me, and he's actually pretty decent at the acrylic station. So I gotta move this closer to me. Don't fall, please. Okay. So again, I'm using 030, and what I've noticed, and I used to make my bins here. I started making them just with a basic loop like that. And I try to put my first bend upwards on the mesial side of the lateral. Because the whole thing with this adjustment loop is to make sure that this wire, it comes in contact right here. All right, and comes in contact right here. Let me draw what I'm talking about. So kind of here. Now I'm going to draw this, and then what I bend is not going to be what I make. So that's what we're doing in Adam's class. So Adam's class are the best for these erupting 6-year molars. They do the best job for retention. So, but the main point of this labial bow is to clear the way for this baby tooth to fall out, this one 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 to fall out. This permanent tooth is already coming in, so it's going to hold the space. So if you don't know, if you lose this, see this, they lost this pretty early, and you can see this one and this one are kind of crowding in. That's not enough room for this bicuspid to come in. So this, it will hold the space as long as the kid wears it, hold the space until all the bicuspids come in, and then they're ready for, you know, phase 2 braces, phase 2 orthodontic treatment. So I'm just going to mark it right there. I feel like my screen is dim. That might be the problem. The screen is dim on my computer. Let me see if I can brighten that up. Oh! Vikshay. Varma? First time here, looking forward to seeing you working in this video. Oh, great. I'm glad you're here. First time on my channel, first time catching a live stream. Because it looks like Sunday's being very good. Duncan, praying hands, and good night. Oh, what time is it there? It is, you have to tell me where you're from. I wonder who the furthest away from me is. I'm in Texas. I'm in Central Time Zone. I guess that's U.S. I don't know. +6 Greenwich Mean Time. I don't know how that works. But anyway, I think I made my bend here a little too. There goes Pete. If y'all are new here, I have a rooster. His name is Pete, and he likes to crow during my live streams. So I'm going to make my mark on the other lateral right there. Let's do a little 90-degree bend right at that mark. I take my, now these are modified if you haven't noticed, and let me show you what I mean. So I have them, I don't know if you can see, I have notched it right there. So I just took a grinding wheel and I notched it because the adjustment loops were just too tall. And I got a brand new pair. Disregard the broken piece right here, but I have a brand new pair of these pliers, and I feel like these are from Great Lakes Orthodontics, and I feel like the newest ones are really tall, and I just don't like how tall the loops are. So I'm going to show you this. So this is a brand new pair, unmodified. I'll show you how tall this loop, tall and skinny. Now, we did do a CDT exam before. So you see how tall that one is compared to this one? You can see my modification. It made it just a little bit shorter. And so don't be afraid, actually be afraid to modify, but you know, if you really think it's going to help you. So then I can just put it against that groove, and that sets my height of my adjustment, and it makes it the same. And all right, things are about to get serious here. I gotta turn my hat backwards, not because I'm trying to be badass, just I keep hitting the camera with the bill of my hat. It kind of scares me a little bit, or I keep jerking back. So I've made a mark right here, and you necessarily do not want to go here with you, right on the gum line. You want to keep it up high, right at the point of contact of that tooth, because once they lose this baby tooth, the adult canine is going to come in. An adult canine is always bigger, always bigger. And you just got to leave more room for it. So if you have it on the gum line, either the tooth won't be able to erupt, or it'll erupt with a space behind it. It's easy to fix in phase 2, but the good thing is about doing phase 1 orthodontics is usually phase 2 doesn't take as long. Because they have created enough. Usually they do, you know, some RPE, some expansion on the model, or sorry, in the mouth, to create room. Because the orthodontists, they can do measurements through X-rays and observing. Is like, oh, we need like 4 more millimeters of room. There's a lot of crowding, and so they can create that space with the RPE, and then this helps to hold that expansion as the kid grows. And so if the kid has enough space for the teeth to drop in, they'll drop in where they're supposed to, generally speaking. Okay, I'm not gonna wax this down because I was gonna show y'all the other version of this, which is the Ricketts labial bow. I'm just gonna try to get this. Man, this yellow, it's hard to get used to. It looks a lot like my wax. So, okay. Oh, your first time to this channel and live stream. Nebraskan. Oh, very cool. I'm glad to, welcome. Glad you're here. Perry, is that all? Use JBC's separator and don't add Vaseline or anything to 2 coats, does it? Yep, that's it. So it's not, I need to be careful with this. It's not, is my chair sinking? I feel like I'm shorter. It's not 3D model separator I use. I don't use official 3D model separator. I use acrylic to acrylic separator. Now, that being said, I haven't used it on this acrylic yet. So hopefully it works, but I use this stuff, this JBC Part All. And as you see, they're not to be used on 3D printed models. It's an acrylic to acrylic separator. It's a lawsuit thing. So I do not use official model separator for 3D printed models. I use acrylic to acrylic because the 3D printed models are pretty much acrylic. And so that's why you get a lot of sticking going on. So Vaseline, I've heard people that use Vaseline, sometimes it's the same thing. Like you got to make sure you get fully covered with this stuff. I don't know what the underside looks like for Vaseline models. This is what the underside looks like on a 3D printed model. So this is what the underside looks like. And I don't know if you get that with Vaseline or not. Maybe you get some cloudiness. This is ice blue. But yeah, this is JBC separator. It sounds fun, thanks. The pliers already dead. Yes, yeah, I already broke the tip off. The tiny tip to make little bitty loops. I'm a little rough on my pliers. And that's why I like these Dentronics so well. They've survived the longest. And I put this through some abuses. Same thing with this one. I don't know what this is. EA Beck & Co. So. El Gallo, is that what the rooster is? Can y'all hear him still? If y'all need to know what he looks like, here he is. There's Pete. I caught a picture of him crowing. But all right, let's do that second labial bow called the Ricketts. Some people, it's not officially a Ricketts. It's a pediatric labial bow. Again, I'm going to use 030 wire again. Let's cut this wire. And that's too short. Well, this is a small mouth. I could probably get away with it. How I measure it is I usually bend it over the model like this and then cut it past the terminal tooth. So this one I'm going to mark right where I want the wire to touch. And this one's a little bit different. I'm going to hold it. Something just fell. Probably if y'all caught the last live stream, I dropped a wire and I thought I lost it forever. Wait, I'm using the wrong pliers for this. Well, maybe it'll still come out. Did y'all catch that? I did that without showing it slowed down, sorry. So this is, some people call it a Ricketts bow. Some people call it a pedo bow. Or reverse loop labial bow. And so you can see how it holds. And so if you squeeze this with 3 prongs, like so, it will actually pull back some. So it's opposite. So then if you spread it open, so if you squeeze it, it'll pull back away from the teeth, and if you spread it open, it's going to do the other one. Let's see if I can do this other side real quick. I'll mark it here. I'm doing this with let me do it with my usual plier. Where is it? This one. So I'll hold the plier here. My mark is right on the edge of this. If you can see, chew. There we go. So my mark is right on the edge. You can barely see my mark. Right on the edge right here. And I'm going to make a 90-degree bend. So this width is the width of what this is going to be. So then I hold it on the side. I just bent vertically. I can straighten that up if I want. And then I make my loop around, go across the front of the labial bow, like that. So that is a reverse loop labial bow. Ricketts one, it looks different, but I know some people call this Ricketts. Yes, kind of like the disease. I guess there was a Dr. Ricketts that discovered a disease, and like a brother that practiced orthodontics that created a labial bow. So I don't know if they're related. Get off of my pliers there. So you can see how different these two look. And they function pretty much the same. Just one gives you classic adjustment features. This one gives you a little bit different. So you can see if you squeeze at the top of the loop with labial bow, it's going to pull this back away from the tooth. Like that. Okay. Those that work in Ortho Labs, do y'all work on the weekends much? I know I catch myself working, but you know, we're a small mom and pop lab. If you're just tuning in, my name's Cade. I do these ortho videos. My wife and I own a true mom and pop ortho lab in Texas, out in the country, in a little building at the end of our driveway. A little 14 by 36, 40 building. So I'm not going to worry about all that stuff, but this is, that's just ugly as sin. All right. Let's pretend I didn't make this. I'm trying to get this in the picture and hold it at the same time. So there's the Ricketts. Let's move back. All right. I think I'm going to put just another coat, just to be safe. Sometimes when I put another coat of separator, and again, this is not model separator, this is just acrylic to acrylic separator. I use it for twin blocks. So if any of y'all have seen my videos on the twin blocks, I use this stuff to separate the acrylic from sticking to each other. All right, let's go with, I'm gonna hand bend these atoms, and I'm using 028 wire. And so as I mentioned earlier in the live stream, one of my more famous videos on my YouTube channel is I need to zoom out a bit. Is bending an Adams clasp. So this is pretty much what I still do it the same years and years later. Hold it there, pull it back, hold it there. And then you got the start of your Adams clasp. Don't worry if you missed it, I'm about to do it again. And then, so I've already prepped this model. I just took a small round burr and removed a little bit of the gums there. What's going to be the free gingiva, which meaning it moves. It's not fused to the tooth. So I think most people have like 3 millimeters of free gingiva. Especially with these young kids, and you know, if you're making a phase 1 Hawley, it's a young kid. Because they still got baby teeth that the doctor's waiting to move. Missed it. So I'm just adapting it over the occlusion. and into the acrylic area. Again, you're only putting these usually on the permanent teeth, the permanent sixes is what we call them here in the States. Maybe South America area, I believe they do the federal numbering system. So this would be for 16 and 26, if I'm not mistaken. Or if you want to use general dentistry, oh gosh, 3 and don't know the other side. Oh, hold on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 3 and 14. So it's all different numbering systems. So we use what's called a Palmer method of numbering here in the United States. But I know they use a different numbering system, different states. And the general dentist, they use the universal, I think it's what it's called. Now, sure. Oh, I got some comments. Pay attention, Cade. Okay. I don't like the underside from Vaseline. Sometimes it creates an ashy hue. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. That this, see, Vaseline doesn't dry; it stays wet, and so your acrylic, as you pour into the wet, will, probably create like pockets or whatever, and then doesn't totally get wet by the monomer. But this completely dry, so you paint on, it goes dry, and then you paint it on, make sure it's dry again before you put acrylic. So it's got to be completely dry. It looks shiny, it looks wet, but you gotta trust me, it is dry, and you can tell just by touching it. When it's tacky, don't put acrylic on there. Yeah, I could see. That's why I was asking about the underside. Oh, look what here. Look at this. I did my first 3D printed splint. So I'll have a video coming out once I get good at this. Focus, man. Focus on this. Quit focusing on, wow, fine. I'll do this. So my first 3D printed splint. So talk about the inside being clear and stuff. So these are my first trial. Not very pretty, but functionable, I think. Anyway, stay tuned for that. You got it. I'm sure I was complaining about something earlier. My trainer has a cheat sheet for universal number. Oh, yes, you got it on the numbers. So everybody, check out Dental Things YouTube channel. He's got an excellent video on numbering. So if you want to know the numberings, the tooth numbering system, so check out his. My trainer had a cheat sheet with universal numbers too, since he used to calling it by the tooth's name. Oh, okay. I do like the universal numbering because each tooth has a single digit, so it can only be that tooth. Whereas the Palmer, you start 1 through 6, and all 1s are centrals, all 2s are laterals, all 3s are cuspids, and so on. But you got to give it a direction. So is it the upper left lateral or the upper right lateral, lower left lateral, lower right lateral? So that's the kind of thing. Having a cheat sheet is very important. I agree with that. And so anybody who's entering in stuff in the computer in this new digital age, it's good to have a cheat sheet by where they're checking in. So where I'm marking these are pretty much where the cusp tips are. So if I drag this up to the cusp tips, that's where they are, and I'll put my pliers right kind of to the inside of that mark, and I make a sort of, it would be a triangle, a isosceles triangle, and then I hold it like this, and I slide my pliers like so. So my bird beak, so this flat side helps out, and then I'm going to bend it around the cone side. So I'm just going to bend it 90 degrees around the cone side, and then that's wrong. I'm showing y'all this and I did it wrong. There you go. And then it creates that natural 45. It's a little off because you can't get too tight in here because the pliers get in the way. But man, is it hot in here to y'all? It is. I got sweat coming down my back. Probably this energy drink I'm drinking at 5 o'clock, which I probably shouldn't be. So then you just bend those over like that, right? And then plop it down. There is probably a better, more accurate way of doing this. And we had a complete expert come in. His name is Norm McMillan, and he taught a class at the conference. And for those that don't know, I help run a conference every year. It's the ORG conference, the Orthodontic Resource Group. It's a nationwide association for orthodontic labs. We put on the world's largest orthodontic conference, and it's 2 full days of ortho lab instructions and things like that. You know, we'll talk about digital splints, and we got some models coming up. But that is coming up in April 4th and 5th. Sorry. Yeah, 4th and 5th, 2025. So mark that on your calendars. I'll be there. I'd love to meet y'all. Check it out at orthodonticresourcegroup.com. There is a page. You'll see a page there on the front. Let me see if I have that. I can put a banner up. Do I have it? Nope. Oh, there, I have that. 2025 ORG conference. But all that being said is I got busy running around, you know, helping up with the conference, setting up cameras and stuff like that, that I didn't get to see that class. I miss a lot of ortho classes. So I like to record them. Sometimes we live stream it. So if you're too far away, still, you could probably still register. And we'll most likely live stream some of the courses. And you get CE credits. So if you're an assistant, if you're a CDT, mainly you'll get CE credits. Even dentists can get their CE credits through these courses, orthodontist. So just thought I would let y'all know about that. Let's see. See if I can find it real quick. Sorry. Orthodontic resource. And let's put it in the banner here. And that's the website. Go check it out. There's a thing that says Build Your Future Lab. That's our theme, is Build Your Future Lab in the Build Your Future Ortho Lab. And that you can check out. There's more details there. Has a list of classes. We have people like Lance from Excel Orthodontics speaking, and Tom Wright from ODL Ortho Lab. I think last year we had Christian Sauerman from Neo Lab. Some really big name labs. This year we have, if you've ever heard of Specialty Appliances, we have the main guy from there. His name's Arlen, really great guy. He was actually on my podcast where we talked about the wire bending machine. So check that out when you get a chance. See, shameless plug. All right, let's do some acrylic. This is baby blue. Let's set this up. I gotta set my camera up over here, and hopefully using my, I need to clean this up. Get my Miss Priss out of the way. I should have cleaned this up before we started. Oh no! Stay. Put a brand new paper towel down to make it look like I run a clean lab. All right, let's move over to that. And we'll grab the model, put it here. Hey, we could actually sprinkle both of these if you want. Let me make sure I'm doing the right one here. Yep, that's the right name. So this one is baby blue, which is a really cool color. Okay, if I can stop hitting my camera so y'all stop getting sick. Let me see if I can, this is a small mouth. Do I need to zoom in a little bit? Can I just tap that? I can. Oh, very cool. All right. So, as I've explained before, I always like to put a layer of clear down, and mainly because in the state of Texas, we have to put names in the retainers. It's state law, Texas Dental Practice Act. So I can do this off screen a little bit so you don't see the name. Although I bet if this kid found out their retainer is being live streamed, they would love it. But the parents may not like it. And so then we go into some baby blue. You'd be amazed how many times I get baby blue in like some sort of pink. And it's at this point where I start seeing all the things wrong with my wire bending. So then I put another layer of clear. You can see how tall this is. Where's my camera? You see how tall that is? Okay, it's pretty level. Sometimes it sticks out too far there, and I have to put a reverse bend in there. Now another reason I put the clear on the inside is so whenever we go into bulk trimming this, I can see the wires. Sometimes when you use these opaque colors, they hide the wires, and so there's a chance when you're trimming that you could run into them. Always a small chance of that. Got to be careful when you're doing this middle section right there. When you're doing especially opaque colors like this, you layer them correctly where your two blues meet and then your two clears meet, and they're stacked on top of each other like this. If you get them shifted, you'll get a clear line. I don't know how else to explain that. I'll have a video for my online course I'm putting together, trying to show that. I'm trying to think in my head the best way to show that. All right, so now I got it pretty decent. I'm going to go ahead and cut it, which is very important with these 3D printed models. To cut it, you need a very sharp line for your knife to remove this off of. You need it pretty much like if you're climbing a cliff, you need a grip for your knife to slide up underneath it. Sometimes it's hard if it's just tapered into the model. Of course, small mouth does not take much acrylic, so I'm just trying to clean this up the best I can. Just, there goes Pete. Always helps. This does look a little thin, and also when you cut it, you can see the thickness. This thickness looks okay. This does look a bit thin. I'm just going to add a little bit. You got to make sure if you add acrylic, it does not spill over onto that cut surface on the model, because you just removed the See that stringy stuff, how it's stringy? What's the stringy part, that's the separator. This stuff peels off. Remember when you use Elmer's glue on your hand when you were a kid in school, before you had cell phones? And you could let it dry and you could peel it off? That's kind of how this works. So when you use this separator, see there's that separator stringing. Let me put this in the pressure pot. I'm going to go ahead and cut away from this thing. It is acrylic setting up really quick. Taking too long. Into the pressure pot. I'll show you what I'm doing over here on the pressure pot on this next one. But while that's setting up, let's go ahead and do another one. Oh, fun! Aqua Pearl. Aqua Pearl. Okay. Hopefully, I put two. Let's see. We do have a one comment while I'm kind of waiting. If you want to eat lobster, go work on the weekends. Good point. Yeah. Yep. That's earlier. You know, those that own labs, do you work on the weekends? And yep, that proves it. If you want to eat at all with today's grocery prices, and we got 3 kids and 2 teenage boys, and it is hard to keep up. I feel bad for my wife trying to keep up with the grocery shopping. So this is Aqua Pearl. It's one of my favorites. It reminds me of old school, like appliances in a kitchen. You know, the fit from the 50s or 60s. It's gonna really turn out neat. I'll finish the blue one, start to finish, in this live stream. What are we looking at? Okay, 48 minutes. But when I get this one finished, if I remember, I'll try to post a picture on my YouTube channel and Facebook. Whoever is watching from Facebook, I'll try to post it on those two so y'all can see. Get a little clear down. And so you see how I just butted it up right up against the pearl, and I want the 2 pearl layers to connect, to touch each other. I don't want it one layer from one side connecting a different layer on the other side, and that's where you'll get those lines in the middle. It's just a aesthetic thing. It's not anything structural wise or functional wise on the retainer. I just like having a smooth, consistent color going through. And you can see this has just a slight little sparkle to it. I mean, just the lightest sparkle. There's a whole pearl series. I think pink pearl, lavender pearl, lilac pearl, yellow. They have yellow and green and aqua. So, and of course, midnight black kind of falls into this, and white, pearl white, which is a real popular color too. One thing I've run into with some of these 3D printed models is they're a little hard to handle. You know, when they get small, whenever you're pouring up with a stone, usually, you know, you flip the impression over and you got a base and you can hold on to that base. I do not like that. Look at that. I'm gonna have to fix that later. What happened there? Was I thinking there was some gums there? Oh gosh. Did not pay attention to that. That is crazy. They'll bite on that. Alright, I'll have to fix that when the retainer's done. And it's mainly just going to be a matter of flattening this wire down and curling up this end. It's a little hard with Adam's class to make those kind of adjustments because there's 2 entries into the acrylic, so you make a bend over here, it's going to affect, you know, the other side. All right, like I promised, I'll show you what I'm doing in the pressure pot. Many of y'all have seen this. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Let's zoom out a bit. Hold on, guys. Hold on. There. Because I can't do it. I have a quick release valve. And then that drops. That means I can pull the lock back, slide it open. The first one is on the cup. I put that in the water. Take the next one, put it on the cup. It's mainly, with these 3D printed models, I don't really have to do this. I can throw it directly into the water because there's usually not air trapped in the resin like there is with plaster. And then let that build up. Now, while we're waiting, I'll answer a couple more questions. All right. Yeah, lobster. That's where we were at. So, like we were saying before, if you're just joining, we are working on a phase 1 Hawley, also called a Interim Hawley, meaning it's just going to hold things, hold any expansion they've done in place, hold all the work they've done with brackets. And we actually, I wish I would have, maybe I have one with brackets on. I think I might see one. So y'all can kind of see. So they take the wires out and they, yeah, perfect. They take the wires out and they do a scan, which I appreciate that. I had one doctor that she would never take the wires out. Let's see. That's not it. Huh. Hold on. No, stop. Weird. Okay. So you can see the, oh, I can't see them very well. Okay. Yeah, you see the brackets. They get printed with the model. And we just take a burr and we just trim them off. Let me see if I can do this real quick. I do have a camera set up over at the trimming station, but I don't know if it's going to work. It keeps going to sleep on me. But this is, I've just taken a basic smooth acrylic burr and I'll just grind this until I reach the flatness of the tooth. And the good thing is these aren't getting labial acrylic. If they were, I'd have to be really, really exact. And I would prefer not to trim the labial, the brackets off. But it's nice. I can kind of see it better because it's matte finish now. But so we remove those brackets and then we just go. It doesn't take long. I do charge for it because it is an extra step. Sometimes it is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but make sure you charge for it because you know it is an extra step before you actually get to the bending. So anything that gets in the way of me actually bending. Why is this? I have messed up. There we go. Hey. Anything that gets in the way of you getting started bending. So my prices are set to, I can sit down and start bending. So they provide the model. I don't charge for that. No, some labs charge for prepping. It's part of, I can't create the retainer without prepping it. But 3D printing it, I charge for that. Anything I have, like with bands, if I have to, even if they provide the bands, if I have to ditch the model to put the bands on. So like my prices are based on RPEs that the model already has the bands in there. All I have to do is scuff up the inside of the band and that's it. So that's my thought process on that. Mr. Martinez. Mr. I commented on your last video that we used to squeeze some dishwasher liquid so nothing can stick. I was gonna ask you, dishwasher liquid or dish soap? So because dish soap would foam up, right? Dishwasher liquid doesn't foam up. So it's dishwasher liquid. So I think you said Dawn dishwasher liquid. I'm going to try that so nothing can stick to the pot while it's for easy cleaning. Yeah, because I have to wipe it out every time. And I don't use that much wax, but when I do, yeah, sometimes they go to the wall and they get stuck to the wall. So yeah, I appreciate that tip. That's really nice that y'all do that. So let's get set up. I think this is ready. Let me turn the camera on over here. This thing is super dirty. So I don't know how well this camera's gonna turn out. Let me get my favorite knife. I need to, bam, okay. Well, where's that knife? Oh, over here. So I like to use this knife. This is a 7R rosewood handled buffalo knife, 7R, and I like this 90-degree tip. It's really helpful in removing these off of 3D printed models. So let me get that blue one. I'm going to go ahead and put the other one in the water. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape the wax off before the sticky wax cools. Like that. I'm going to kind of lift up a little bit on these to start my separation process. And then I'm going to try to get my knife up underneath. Okay, I got to do this on the the towel. So I have this old towel here. I gotta zoom in. Yeah, can I zoom in more? Yes, kind of. So I just slide my knife. See, I got a little separation there. Sometimes it helps to, at that point, run it under some water. Warm water tends to help. I've heard of people using the steamer or compressed air and blow compressed air into there. You just kind of, there's a suction involved also. There we go. Okay, so, whew. There's a part of me, I was about 10% worried that I don't know what this resin is. Remember, I got this from a doctor, printed from a doctor, and I don't know what that resin is. So, yeah, it could have been something that my separator was not compatible with. Let me go to the steamer and steam this off. Sorry for the loud noises, and then we'll get to trimming this. And I'm going to go ahead and set up my... Oh, pumice. No, I need pliers. That hurt my hand. Okay. There is that. I'm going to move... you can see we did not clean the trimming box since the last time. So... I'm trying to get there we go. Let's go to this camera real quick. So this other camera is getting, it's still zoomed in. I guess I can zoom out. There we go. So I'm going to turn my lathe on that has this aluminum oxide wheel. I'm gonna turn the suction on. Actually, since I don't talk much, let me get that fancy music I had on last week. Oh, Dawn soap. Okay, I'm gonna try that. That's a great. I love these little tips you get from other lab owners and stuff. Let's see, where was that one? Okay, here we go. This is my trimming music. All right. It shouldn't take too long. This is a tiny little mouth. And there's no labial acrylic, which is nice, because sometimes labial acrylic takes as long to trim, because we're pretty particular here in this lab about, you know, all the it being even and stuff. Sometimes it takes us as long as anything else. That's about all I can do. Alright, let me switch cameras around. Hold on. This one camera I have set up is not a good picture. Sorry. I still have not found a good camera setup over here at this box, because I don't want to use... Yeah, you know what? Let me clean this. Watch how fast I clean this. Boop, done. Look at that. Look, clean. Like it never was dirty. But it's great having this box, because all this stuff would be in the floor. You know? So this way, if it doesn't go down the suction hole here and into my dental dust collector, it would just be on the floor. So let's start with the teeth. Again, some doctors, I've never had this doctor ask me, but anywhere there's baby, they'll just wipe out all this. And I probably need text. If they're having to do that chair side, I could probably do it for them. Wait, I gotta make sure I'm on the right channel. Yep, I am. Sometimes I'll start trimming over here and I'm on the wrong camera. And people are yelling at me in the comments, and hit that wire a little bit. Oh, that's why. I skipped a step. I usually like to use these stainless steel bristle brushes to clean up around the wires. And hopefully, I don't have to get too close with my burr, because you can see I got it close right there. Which, I think that was going to happen anyway, just because this is such a small mouth. Just that angle of that tooth. I think that is fine. So I'm just using this to blend it in. As you can see, that acrylic wheel, that aluminum oxide wheel on the lathe, really chews through the acrylic quick, but it makes it rough. So you can see the difference in the smoothness between the acrylic wheel, this rough cut acrylic wheel and that aluminum oxide wheel. I was using a green wheel, that tip I got from Zara Dental Lab, off his YouTube channel. I really love those green ones. I just cannot keep them in stock. I don't order them in time. So then every time I run out, I use this, and we just end up keep using this. This one doesn't wear out, this wheel. Just checking the thickness, tapering the ends. Okay, so I don't know if this camera will pick this up or not. Oh, that's a metal burr. So I got a fine tooth. So this is a coarse tooth burr, and this is fine cut. Why am I saying tooth? That's weird. Fine cut. And so I don't know if you can tell, but you can kind of see some scratches there. And then I go to the sandpaper. And this is just strip of sandpaper on a split mandrel. I have a split mandrel over here. This is what it looks like underneath. A split mandrel. You see the split. You just slide the sandpaper on there and you coil it up like this. And I call this my pre-pumice, because this is almost like pumicing, but it's going to save you so much time. You gotta be a little careful you don't hit the wires too much with this. It's not going to damage like it would the burr, but it will scratch them up a bit. And just kind of gives it a glossy look to it, I guess. Yeah, there you go. And then it doesn't take too long at all to pumice this, because it's nice and smooth. So let me move my camera over to the pumice area. Just so you don't get sick, I'm gonna switch cameras here. And then put this on. Gonna put it in the middle. But now I know I can zoom in pretty good. I'm gonna do that. If this doesn't. Can I reach this over here? Ox. Yep. All right. So this is dry. This is pumice substitute. It dries pretty quick. It's got a antibacterial. Drying helps, mold and stuff from forming. It being able to dry so quick, but there's also an antibacterial thing in it. So what I'm doing is I'm wetting the wheel, and I could use some more pumice. So I have a thing of pumice here. Now this is PS Dazzle from Whitmix. I really like this stuff, but when it's in this powder form, you don't want to breathe it in. That's why you hear the fan in the background. I got a fan exhausting this whole area to the outside, so Pete can breathe this in. So take that, Pete, and you're crowing. It'd be hilarious if you crowed right now and choked up a bit. No, Pete's a good bird. He protects all the hens. So I'm going to turn this on. Then I'm just going to run that up. It self-threads, and I almost lost the retainer. It was in these blue gloves that my wife uses to pumice. It blends in. You can see there. I like paste form of this, where I can just, I don't like it soupy. I use slow speed. Some people like to use high speed. I don't know, I feel like high speed, well, you gotta be good. Don't use high speed when you're first learning how to pumice. That's rule number one, because these things will sling out of your hand so fast. And one of the last live stream last week's where I lost the retainer, people talk about losing retainers and stuff. Well, there's many times we have lost retainers pumicing. You're already done with the retainer, and you're pumicing, and you're on high speed, and that thing will just shoot across the room. We found it in blinds before. I've heard stories of finding it in the blinds in the window next to the lathe, and they found it 3 days later. And unfortunately, they had to remake the whole thing. Also, I like slow speed because I feel I can get into the nooks and crannies better. This baby blue is real popular. And I like to do this underside just a little bit, just in case there's like a sharp something that's going to go up against the roof of the mouth. I want to make sure that that doesn't bother the patient. So I'm going to rinse all that pumice off. It's real important. And then I'm going to steam it again. So that steam will get rid of any pumice left over and any wax that's not, I didn't catch the first time I steamed, which you'd be surprised because you don't want wax on your wheel. So I have a metal wheel that I use with this metal polish, and then I have an acrylic wheel that I use with this JBC acrylic hot shine. So let's see if I can do half and half so you can see. So if I hold it in the light, you should be able to see how shiny this is on this side. And this is more matte finished. I mean, it's still shiny from pumice. You could actually get away probably with delivering that. But just this gloss just adds so much more gloss to it. Then you can charge double because it just looks so much better, right? Is that how it works? That's, again, if you can't tell, that's my favorite part. All right, let's take this back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Let me turn this off. I'm gonna steam it one more time. Where's my chair? Here we go. All right, that is it. We are finished. Let me turn off my fancy trimming music. We have the finished baby blue Interim Phase 1 Hawley. And where did my model go? You know what? I trimmed that whole thing without trying it back on the model. Oh gosh, I hope this. Usually I trim it and the model is right there next to me. And I can make sure, you know, everything's level. Okay, not bad. So let's, I'm gonna QC this a bit. So the other one, the pearl one, you can see there's a little bit of space right there. You can do some little bit of adjustment. I'm gonna actually tilt that down a little more, and I'm gonna put a little up bend in it. See how it sunk that in there now? That one needs a little bit. I may have been talking too much when I bent those and missed that little bend. So I'll bend it down and then bend it back up by putting the curve, and then it dips it down in there. I do not like how that's fitting. It's kind of high up right there, so let's fix that as best we can. Again, I must have been talking too much. There we go. That needs to come down a little bit. You can see it's not touching the tooth. And I like those to be not really, really active, but at least touching the teeth. So the doctor has somewhere to start with them. And then I don't like this to be flared out too much right here. So I'm going to tuck it in just a bit. I didn't hush on the labial bow. But that's it. There is your interim or phase 1 Hawley. And in baby blue. I said that weird. And, well, we're only 17 minutes over. So, oh, Mr. Martinez, beautiful work. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So that was it. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Looks like Sunday might be my new time. So if you're watching the recording or if you're watching live stream right now, be sure and if you liked it, if you like this color, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe, if you subscribe and you click the notification bell, it should alert you whenever I create the live stream. So you'll know it's upcoming and you can click notify me when it's live so you won't miss it, because I do like talking to y'all live. It's really great. And I get good tips from y'all, like the Dawn dish soap in the pressure pot. So I'm going to try that. Maybe I'll have that experimented on by the next live stream. So with that being said, almost forgot. Those that are interested, I am Patreon members. I am uploading a video hopefully soon this week, going over my detailed list of what I use at my wire bending. So I did a video on my wire bending area, and then my soldering area, and then my acrylic area, and I'm editing. I almost have the one finished. So these are starting to go into the school I'm trying to do of those that want to start an orthodontic lab. Like my wife and I, we have our own ortho lab here in the country, and this is what we do for a living. And if you want to do that, if you're a assistant turning into a in-house lab tech, I want this to be for you. If you're an in-house lab tech and you want to go out on your own and start your own lab, this will be for you too. Or if you need to start working from home, I want to get together a complete list of every equipment you need, prices, and that kind of thing. And the starting of that is my Patreon account. So I upload my videos there first, and then I'll build the online course out later. So if you're interested in that, if you want to, I am doing one-on-one interview. I want to do 50 interviews, and right now I'm still at 10 or so. So I want to do 50 interviews of those of you out there that want to possibly open your own lab, what you're looking for. It's not a sales call. I just need to know what you're looking for in the school specifically. What software do you use for checking in cases or receiving scans, or what acrylic do you use? Any of those questions I'm trying to get answered in there. So if all that being said, should be in the description below a link to both the Patreon, where you can see preview of all those videos, and the Calendly link. I think it's still active, where you can set up a one-on-one call. And that school will have one-on-one or group coaching too. So all the people out there can ask questions about opening up your own lab. Hope this helps. I will see y'all in the next one. Let me get my fancy outro video. And until then, where's my fancy coffee cup? Here it is. Glad to see y'all here, and I hope to see y'all next week. And until then, happy bending.